One of the biggest mistakes homeowners make when selling their house in St. Paul is actually pricing too high. That might sound surprising. Most people assume starting high gives you room to negotiate. But in reality, pricing your home incorrectly in the first few weeks on the market can cost you tens of thousands of dollars and sometimes even months of extra time trying to sell. And later in this video, I'm going to explain a pricing pattern I see repeatedly in the Twin Cities that causes listings to sit on the market far longer than expected. If you're thinking about selling a home in St. Paul, one of the most important decisions you'll make is how to price it when it first hits the market. Because pricing isn't just about choosing a number that sounds good. It affects how many buyers see your home, how quickly you receive showings, how competitive your offers become, and ultimately, how much you walk away with at closing. The St. Paul housing market has its own patterns. Some neighborhoods see homes sell very quickly when they're priced correctly, while others take longer because buyers are comparing multiple options in the same price range. Understanding where your home fits into the local market makes a huge difference. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 key factors that determine the right price for your home in St. Paul, including one factor most sellers overlook that can dramatically impact how buyers respond. And if you stay until the end, I'll also show you a simple pricing strategy that many successful listings use to generate strong early interest. The first 2 weeks after a home hits the market are usually the most important period for pricing strategy. That's when your listing gets the highest level of visibility. New listings often appear in buyer alerts, online search results, agent notifications, saved search filters. This means buyers who are actively looking in St. Paul will typically see your home very quickly. If your home is priced correctly during that window, you're far more likely to see strong showing activity, multiple interested buyers, competitive offers. But if the price is too high, something different tends to happen. Buyers may still view the listing online, but they often skip scheduling a showing because there are other homes in the same price range that appear to offer more value. This is where many sellers run into problems. They assume that reducing the price later will bring the same attention. But by that point, many buyers have already moved on to other homes or made offers elsewhere. That's why the initial pricing strategy matters so much. And in a moment, I'll explain another factor that strongly influences pricing decisions in St. Paul that many homeowners don't realize plays such a large role. Another important part of pricing your home correctly is understanding how buyers search online. Most buyers don't search for homes using a single exact price. Instead, they use price ranges. For example, someone might search for homes between $350,000 and $400,000, $400,000 and $450,000. That means the price you choose can determine which group of buyers even sees your listing. Let's say your home might realistically sell around $399,000. If it's priced at $405,000 instead, it could disappear from searches where buyers have set their maximum price at $400,000. That may seem like a small difference, but it can reduce your potential buyer pool. In markets like St. Paul, where many buyers compare multiple homes before scheduling showings, visibility in the right price bracket can significantly influence early activity. This is why pricing strategy often involves placing a home in the most competitive search range rather than simply rounding up to the next price point. And this leads into another pricing factor that many homeowners overlook completely. When real estate professionals determine a listing price, they typically analyze comparable sales, often called comps. These are homes that recently sold, are similar in size and layout, are located in nearby areas, share similar features. Looking at comparable homes helps establish a realistic price range. For example, if 3 homes with similar square footage and features recently sold between $365,000 and $380,000, that range becomes an important reference point. But it's also important to consider market timing. A home that sold 6 months ago may reflect a slightly different market environment than one that sold 3 weeks ago. Buyer demand can shift based on factors like interest rates, seasonal market trends, inventory levels. That's why pricing decisions often prioritize the most recent sales data available. But here's the part many sellers don't realize. Comparable sales provide a foundation, but they're only one part of the pricing strategy. because buyers don't just compare past sales. They also compare active listings right now. And that's where things can get interesting. Even if your home compares well to recent sales, buyers are still looking at what else is available today. This is something that affects pricing decisions throughout St. Paul and Minneapolis. If 3 homes similar to yours are currently listed between $375,000 and $390,000, pricing your home at $410,000 might cause buyers to focus on those other listings first. Because from a buyer's perspective, they're comparing options within the same price range. But when a home enters the market at a price that feels competitive relative to other listings, something different can happen. Buyers often view it as a strong opportunity and schedule showings quickly. This can lead to increased interest early in the listing period. And that early activity is important because it creates momentum. When multiple buyers are looking at the same home around the same time, it can increase the likelihood of strong offers. Which brings us to the final pricing factor that many sellers overlook. Earlier, I mentioned that there's a pricing pattern that often causes listings to sit on the market. That pattern is starting too high and adjusting later. Instead, many successful listings follow a different strategy. They enter the market at a price that's competitive with the similar homes, sometimes even slightly below recent comparable sales. At first glance, this might sound counterintuitive, but the goal is to attract strong interest immediately. When multiple buyers are looking at the same home during the first few days on the market, it can create a situation where offers become more competitive. That doesn't happen in every situation, but it's a pricing approach that many sellers in the Twin Cities have used successfully. It also helps prevent the situation where a home sits on the market for several weeks and buyers begin wondering why it hasn't sold. Because once a listing has been on the market longer than expected, buyers often assume there may be an issue with the price or condition. So the goal isn't simply choosing the highest number possible. The goal is choosing a price that positions the home competitively within the current St. Paul market. Quick question for you. Have you noticed homes in your area selling quickly lately or sitting on the market for a while? Let me know in the comments what you've been seeing in your part of the Twin Cities. Let's quickly recap the 5 factors that influence pricing a home correctly in St. Paul. First, the first 2 weeks on the market usually receive the most attention from buyers. Second, pricing affects which buyers actually see your home in online search results. Third, recent comparable sales help establish a realistic price range. Fourth, active listings create direct competition that buyers compare when making decisions. And fifth, many successful listings use competitive pricing to generate strong early interest. When these factors come together, it creates a pricing strategy that aligns with how buyers actually behave in the current market. If you're thinking about selling a home in St. Paul or anywhere in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, pricing strategy is one of the most important steps in the entire process. If you'd like help understanding what your home might realistically sell for in the current market, feel free to reach out. I am always happy to provide a detailed pricing analysis based on recent sales and current listings. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe for more videos about buying, selling, and understanding the Twin Cities housing market.